Welcome to the second week of the Illustrated Ministries, The Beatitudes. This week's lesson is called The Beatitudes. As we start today, I want you to think about this question. What is the tallest thing you have ever climbed? You can stop the video for a few minutes to discuss this question with your family. Today, we learn some of Jesus' most important teachings. Jesus had been spending a lot of time healing people. In addition to their physical hurts and pains, Jesus saw people also had broken hearts and unsteady hope. After healing so many people, Jesus decided to take care of them in another way, so he led the people who had been following him to a mountain. Mountains had special meaning in Jesus' time. People believed mountains were holy places to connect with God, maybe because they had reached up high into the sky. Use your arms and reach into the sky as far as you can. There are lots of stories in the Bible about people having a meaningful connection with God on a mountain. Can you think of any? Maybe Moses receiving the Ten Commandments, or Elijah witnessing God's presence through silence, or Jesus' transfiguration? Jesus knew mountains reminded people of God's presence with them, so he chose a mountain as a good place to give an important sermon. A sermon is a talk meant to teach and help people grow in their relationship with God. People were so committed to Jesus that they climbed the mountain to listen. There were many ways to move up a mountain. Some people would hike. Remember how we hiked last week? Some people used ropes. Some people used a hiking wheelchair. And some people might climb. Let's pretend to climb this mountain. You pick the way you want to move up the mountain. Ready? Let's go. Phew, we made it. Let's find a seat and settle our bodies after the big climb. In this sermon on the mountain, one of Jesus' first recorded sermons, Jesus listed 9 ways people are blessed. To be blessed meant to be happy or satisfied. People often thought being happy or content was a result of their situation or how life was going for them. But as we know, Jesus likes to turn what we think we know upside down and show us a new way. So let's read Jesus' teachings together. This is from the book of Matthew. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he sat down, his disciples came to him. Then he began to speak and taught them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil things against you on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." The people listening to Jesus were astonished. Some were confused. Some were surprised. Some were relieved. People who were mourning and very sad were blessed, happy to the fullest. Meek, gentle people receive power over the earth. This is the opposite of what their culture said. Their culture told them power and possessions were what made a person happy or blessed. Did you notice how each beatitude seemed to include 2 parts? First, Jesus made a statement. Then he gives a promise. For example, Jesus makes the statement, "Blessed are the poor in spirit." Then Jesus gives the promise, "For theirs is the kingdom of heaven." For each of these verses, Jesus names a group of people who wouldn't usually think of as happy or content, then offers them a promise for healing and hope right now, just like in the future. The way Jesus promises these blessings is his way of bringing God's kingdom to us here and now. Before we transition to our next activity, I would like to bless you. A blessing is something you receive, so open your hands like this, and when you're ready to receive the gift, I'll speak the blessing. If you receive it, take the blessing and put it into your heart. You are blessed because you follow the way of Jesus, all the way up the mountain. When we follow Jesus, we are blessed with good wisdom. Now, let's take out our handout that we have for this week. It looks just like this. I have some questions for you to think about. What surprised you about Jesus' sermon? What do you think it means to be blessed? How do you think the people hearing these promises from Jesus felt? And what are some modern beatitude ideas you have? You can pause the video to discuss these questions with your family. Now that we've discussed the questions for this week, here is our activity for today. Climbing can be exhausting. If you climb a mountain, what challenges might you face? What blessings might you experience? Here are some climbing challenges. What unexpected blessings might you expect from these challenges? You might want to discuss, draw, or role play what unexpected blessings you might encounter with each of these challenges. You start a hike at 5 a.m. before the sun comes up. You have been hiking for an hour and your legs are sore. You don't have any music or TV shows with you, so there's nothing to listen to you. Your friend does not hike as quickly as you do, and light rain showers begin. Now let's end our lesson with a prayer. God of hope, thank you for encouraging our hearts and strengthening our spirits with your promises. Please help us live your way as merciful, pure in heart peacemakers who bring your kingdom to earth here and now. Show us who needs your hope today and lead us to share it. Amen. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you again next week.